Hi, it's Friday, and we're here at the end of another week. We're about to embark on yet another weekend. Anyway, welcome to the show. This is Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel, live and direct from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. I'm Rick Arsenal, your host. Do me a favor, if you would please, if you haven't done so yet, first of all, thank you so much for watching and listening. Get down there in that corner down there and smash that like and subscribe button for me, will you? Thank you very much. That really means a lot to me. And don't think I don't appreciate it. We haven't been doing this show that long, and as you can see, we've got darn near 100 subscribers. And I think for someone in a rural area like this, I think that's pretty darn good. I appreciate it. My sponsors appreciate it more than you will ever know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're about to embark on the weekend. We're going to be mainly baseball, a little bit of Lions, Pro Football Focus. Put out their rankings. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. They ranked every secondary in the National Football League 1 through 32. We'll take a quick look at that and let you know where they got the Lions ranked. You may be surprised. I think I was. Pistons get underway with the summer league action in Las Vegas tonight. Chaz Lanier, rookie Chaz Lanier, second-year man, Ron Holland. Looks like they're going to see a lot of action as they play the Knicks tonight. It's a 6 o'clock game on the NBA channel or NBA network or whatever they call it. I certainly don't have it. I don't think there are many people that do. I don't know why it's not on ESPN tonight, but anyway. Pistons, 6 o'clock summer league game from Las Vegas. If you hadn't heard, well, I think we'll save this when we start talking about the Lions. One other thing I wanted to tell you, you're probably not aware of. Anyway, Tigers begin a 3-game series tonight with the Seattle Mariners. Mariners, while right now are not. If the playoffs were to start today, the Mariners would not be in. If they were to start today, the 3 wild card teams would be the Yankees, Rays, and Red Sox. You'd have 4 American League East teams in the playoffs, along with the Astros and the Tigers, of course, and the division leader Toronto Blue Jays. That could change from one day to the next. But also, if you haven't heard the news regarding the All-Star game. Before we get to all that, before I forget, let me get my commercial obligations out of the way here first for our great sponsors. You know, if you're planning on hitting the road this summer, make your first stop, Frank Beck Chevrolet. Let Beck Service Pros make sure your vehicle is ready for any trip you're going to make, whether it be in this great state of ours or our great country. Beck's can check everything. I mean everything. The belts, hoses, electrical connections to make sure there are no surprises waiting for you out there on the road. You get in there, let them check the brakes, the tires, and especially with the weather being the way it is now, the cooling and air conditioning units. Check the tires, check the fluids, make sure you're good to go with air in the tires, and you're pretty much ready to go. Let them check everything from top to bottom. You know, so whether your vacation plans are near or far, get in there and make sure your vehicle can make that trip. You call the service department at 517-849-2886 to make your appointment, or stop in to Frank Beck Chevrolet at M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, and follow them on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Get in there and experience the Frank Beck Chevrolet difference. That's great advice. Where are you going to make that trip anywhere this summer? This summer is flying by. And as hot and humid as it's been, I'm glad to see that. It really is action. It takes a lot out of you. Anyway, it's flying right by. If you haven't made your trip yet. By the way, my sister and her kids and grandkids right now are up in Alaska. seeing the sights up there. The pictures they're sending back to me are absolutely spectacular, breathtaking. So, so wherever you're headed, if you haven't gone there yet, you plan on going there, get into Beck's. Make sure you're good to go, okay? That's the best advice I can give. Chevrolet together, let's drive. Chevy Drive, Southern Michigan. Of course, Frank Beck Chevrolet is the #1 Chevrolet selling dealer in our tri-state area. We're also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance in downtown Jonesville on the corner of M99 and US 12. That's BarrettINS.com, 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, BarrettINS.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. On the corner of M99 and US 12 in downtown Jonesville. BarrettINS.com, 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. Okay. Pitching matchups for this series with the Mariners. Cal Raleigh and company. If you don't know who Cal Raleigh is, he's the Mariners catcher who's on a pace to hit more than 60 home runs this year. This could be a record-setting year for him. Tiger fans. And by the way, we could tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, you could see an attendance series total again at Comerica Park of upwards of 120,000 folks there for the 3 combined games. Anyway, the pitching matchups. Luis Castillo, who is considered the Mariners' ace right-hander. These are all right-handed pitchers, by the way. He's 5-5. He's going tonight for the Mariners, but he's got a decent ERA of 3.31. But he's just a 500 pitcher. He's 5-5. And of course, he'll be opposed by Tarik Skubal, who we now know will be starting in the All-Star game. 10-2 with an ERA of 2.02. Tomorrow afternoon, George Kirby, 3-4. Will go for the Mariners. He's got an ERA of 4.22 versus another All-Star, Casey Mize, 9-2 with an ERA of 2.63. And then Sunday afternoon at 1:40, Logan Gilbert. He's 2-3 for the Mariners with an ERA of 3.88. Jack Flaherty for the Tigers, 5-9, 4.70. By the way, this is the kind of a homecoming for Rick Riz, former Tiger broadcaster. He's 71 years old now. He's still the voice of the Seattle Mariners, radio voice of the Seattle Mariners. If you're 35 years or older, you should remember Rick Riz, who was the voice of the Tigers here, along with Bob Rathman for a couple of years. Short-lived, it was only 2 years, but I think he and his colleague Rathman both got a raw deal out of that, but that's all water under the bridge. Anyway, welcome back, Rick Riz. He's 71 years old now. The All-Star game, Tuesday. The Tigers now have, as you saw in the headlines, 6 All-Stars. They've had 6 All-Stars 3 other times. In 2013 and in 1984 and 85. Those were the other 3 years they've had 6 All-Stars on the team. It was announced this morning that Casey Mize was going to be replacing the Red Sox Garrett Crochet on the team. And with that announcement, that gave the Tigers 6 All-Stars. So you've got Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Javier Baez, Zach McKinstry, and then the 2 pitchers, of course, Tarik Skubal, who will be starting now, and Casey Mize. Look, I think A.J. Hinch knew exactly what he was doing when he came on. Did his radio show Tuesday morning on the ticket. And simply said, if his guy, Tarik Skubal, he said this, Skubal didn't say it. He said, if his guy, Tarik Skubal, wasn't starting, he probably wasn't going to pitch. And I think obviously that went viral. And then next thing you know, he's starting, and the guy who he mentioned Tuesday, Max Fried of the Yankees, who he thought was going to start, is not. Like, I don't think he's on the team. I'm not really sure what happened there, but look, A.J. Hinch doesn't have I think it's a psychology degree or business degree from Stanford for nothing. He knew exactly what he was doing and saying. He knew that was going to go viral. And this is too big a stage for the best pitcher in baseball not to start the game. And he knew that. He had to know that. Anyway, Fried has one more win than he does. Of course, he could get a win tonight, but Skubal has a much better earned run average than Max Fried does. But so anyway, hey, if you want to count the Tiger back boy, who will also be in Atlanta on Tuesday, you could say that's 7 representatives. Okay. One last thing about the Tigers. They're 59-35 going into the game tonight. As we speak right now, they have 120 home runs, 121 home runs on the season, 121. So the team record for most home runs in one season was set back in 1987 when they hit 225. How many games left? 68, counting tonight. Yeah, they got there at 121 now. I think they still have a shot, legitimate shot at 200, but 225, they'd have to really, unless they go on at the trade deadline and they pick up a couple of bats, 1 or 2 bats, it would contribute more to the home run count. But yeah, they've got a legitimate shot at 200. Yeah, but 225, they'd be kind of hard pressed to get there. They have a 13.5 game lead right now on Kansas City, or is it Minnesota? 14 on Kansas City, 14.5 on Cleveland. And you still got a lot of teams. Trade deadline is 20 days away yet. It was 3 weeks from yesterday. So you still got a lot of teams that think they have a legitimate shot at a wild card. We'll see. Like I said, the 3 wild cards right now are Toronto in first place. The 3 wild cards are the Yankees, the Rays, and the Red Sox. Red Sox have been playing very well of late. And by the way, they just got Alex Bregman back. So. All right. Closing with some Lion news, but first let's do this. Tim Lindley, Quality PC, downtown Hillsdale. As I've told you many times, if it went for him, we probably wouldn't be doing this right now. 37 Walton Street, 517-610-5372. The only, and I stress, the only place in our area for any technical service, anything. This is it. You don't go anywhere else. You go to 37 Walton Street in downtown Hillsdale, and you let Tim and one of his more than capable staff members service whatever issue you have. They're more than capable of resolving pretty much any issue you may have. Computers, new or used, flat screen TV, mounting, programming set up. Perhaps you're changing internet providers, you need that installed. Printers, new or used, anything at all. Get in there and see them. 517-610-5372. I should know that by heart by now, shouldn't I? 37 Walton Street, directly across the street from Fat Jack's Automotive, and maybe about 100 yards west of Howell on the north side of the street. You can't miss it. That's the only place to go. Please, folks, get in there and see them. Tim and one of his more than capable staff members can pretty much resolve any technical issue you may have at all. Like, it's the only place around here to go, and we're so thankful that we have them here. Get in there and see them. Will you please, again, 517-610-5372, or better yet, get in there and see them at 37 Walton Street and tell them Rick and Miggy sent you. Thank you very much. Football. Lion rookies report on the 16th, next Wednesday. The day before that, tickets go on sale for Lions practices. Now, here's the problem. It's all online, and the majority of seats go to season ticket holders. Very few seats available for the public. As far as I'm concerned, if you go online and attempt to get practice tickets for any Lions workouts or practices or joint practice, you're wasting your time. That's the best. don't even attempt to get tickets for live practice. As I said before, they've got joint practices with both the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans leading up to a preseason game on the following Saturdays. That would be the 13th and the 20th. Those are 1:00 games. You're better off going to the game if you want to, rather than see a practice. Problem is, you go to the game, you're looking at third and fourth stringers, guys who probably aren't going to make the team come when the regular season starts. So your only shot at that is seeing these joint practice sessions. That's probably not going to happen. So anyway, the rookies report on next Wednesday, the 17th. 3 days later, that's a week from tomorrow. On the 19th, the rest of the squad reports. The next day, July 20th, that would be a week from Sunday, is their first full-scale workout. And then, of course, they've got the Hall of Fame game, which is also 20 days away, a week from yesterday on the 31st. That's a nationally televised game on NBC with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. Well, it's a big day in our area right here. You got the Lions starting the season in Canton, kicking off the football season. Of course, it's also the trade deadline on that day, Major League trade deadline, which I think is 4 or 5 o'clock our time. A big day, anticipated day in our area. And what will the Tigers do? Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit tomorrow with Andy and Chad. It's not really, what Scott Harris, the team president, or Jeff Greenberg, the general manager, moves that they think that they have to make. But if they're there and they see another contender, doesn't matter what league it's in, the American League or National League, go out and make a big splash. Do they feel obligated to go out and make a move in order to trump them? As I said before, this is their window of opportunity. It's going to close right after the World Series. And of course, there's so much uncertainty involving next year with the impending work stoppage right after the collective bargaining agreement expires. And by the way, kudos to the National Hockey League. They've already reached an agreement on their collective bargaining agreement, which doesn't expire until next year. That'll never happen in baseball. So obviously, there won't be any strike or work stoppage for the National Hockey League next year. You'll never see that happen in baseball, ever. But given all the uncertainty involving next year, they're a window of opportunities this year. Bottom line is they've got to go for the whole thing this year. They've really got to, regardless of whether they think the team is fine the way it is now. They might see somebody else out there and make a move that look what they did. We better go out there and trump that move, or would they feel motivated to make a move, more motivated if they saw one of their competitors go out and make a move ahead of them? I think they might be. I think they would be. Anyway, Jeff Passan from ESPN, he put out a list of trades that each contender fit, and what he thought a good fit would be for each contender out there this year. And he thought the Tigers, in the case of the Tigers, he thought that they should go after the relief pitcher from the Pirates, David Bednar. 30 years old. He's got a great ERA, 2.29 right now, right-hander. So yeah, he compiled a list of all the contenders, and then he matched up a player with them that he thought would fit with them. Like the Tigers, it was David Bednar. I believe the Yankees, I think he said that they should go out and pursue Eugenio Suarez of the Diamondbacks, provided the Diamondbacks think they're not contenders and they're signed some. This is all, you've got a lot of teams that still think they can contend for that wild card yet. Maybe things will shake and look a little different 3 weeks from now. But anyway, Lions. As I said, I gave you their itinerary for what's going on here in the next couple of weeks. Pro Football Focus before we get out of here. I hope I'm not going too long or holding up your weekend. I just want to run this one thing by you here. If you're familiar with Pro Football Focus, that's a grading outfit. Pro Football Focus, or PFF. It's a grading outfit. What they do is they grade every player in the National Football League in every game on every play. It's a grading service. Okay, very reputable outfit. They came out yesterday and they graded each team's secondary 1 through 32. Okay, it's for the National Football League 1 through 32. I don't see any. Well, there was one surprise here. I'll get to that in a second. But okay, so number one, they've got the Baltimore Ravens. I can't argue with that, especially since they went out and got Jair Alexander. I have no problem with that. Number two, they've got the Kansas City Chiefs. They've got a great secondary. Number three, the Denver Broncos. With Patrick Surtain, maybe the greatest quarterback in the league. They've got them at number three. Houston Texans come in at number four. And the New England Patriots come in at number five. Number six are your Detroit Lions. Okay, so what do the top five teams I just gave you have in common? Well, they're all AFC teams. So what is Pro Football telling us here with the Lions ranked at number six? Pardon me, that is the first NFC team on their list at number six. So they've got the Lions. Pro Football Focus has the Lions as the top rated secondary in the National Football Conference. And here's what they had to say about the Lions. Injuries derailed what could have been a special season for the Lions, and the secondary wasn't immune. Safeties Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph rank among the NFL's best. And Detroit added arguably the league's most underrated quarterback in DJ Reed from the Jets. Amik Robertson returns, while second-year players Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw are expected to take a big step forward. I agree with that. Rounding out the top 10, they've got the Chicago Bears coming in at 7, just below the Lions. I can't argue with that either. 8, the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles are 8. And the ninth best secondary, they've got the LA Chargers. Coming in at number 10, rounding out the top 10, they've got the Indianapolis Colts. I can't argue with any of these gradings. Without going through the whole list, I will tell you where the other two teams, I mentioned the Lions are 6 and the Bears are 7. They've got the Green Bay Packers at number 19. They graded out the Green Bay Packers secondary as the 19th best in the National Football League, and the Minnesota Vikings at 27. In other words, being at the Vikings at 27, they had just 500 teams who they thought had a weaker secondary than the Vikings. So apparently right now, Pro Football Focus doesn't think much either of the Packers or the Vikings secondary, especially since the Packers lost Alexander. I just want to run that by you. Tomorrow morning, that's going to do it tomorrow morning with Andy and Jed. Apparently, we will be at Stocks Park as part of the Domestic Harmony events, annual Domestic Harmony events in Stocks Park tomorrow morning. Let's hope for good weather. Look forward to seeing everybody out there. Stop by. It's a great cause. Stocks Park tomorrow morning. We will be on from 9 to 10, of course, but the festivities will be all morning. I think it ends with the Duck Derby around noontime or something. Stocks Park tomorrow morning here in Hillsdale. Tomorrow morning. Yeah. In fact, Andy had forgotten about this. He just texted us yesterday and said that he forgot we'd be doing the show from Stocks Park tomorrow. Look forward to seeing everybody out there. Have yourselves a great weekend. I'll talk to you all again on Monday. Then, remember, please treat each other with respect. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Tell your friends. We've got 95 subscribers right now. We'd like to get to 100. Please tell your friends. And like I said, until Monday, remember, please treat each other with respect. Have a great weekend. So long, everybody, and go Tigers.